You think you're safe. Bills paid, fridge full, a little money stacked, maybe even a smile now and then. But comfort is a liar. And safety? That's the most seductive trap of them all. Because here's the truth they don't dare whisper in the calm. You're always one step away from it all collapsing. One emergency, one mistake, one phone call, one betrayal, one moment of bad luck, and you're right back where you swore you'd never be. Survival mode. You remember that feeling, don't you? When the air gets tighter, when you check the bank account 4 times before swiping, when sleep disappears because stress robs you at night, when the world turns gray and you're just trying to breathe. Some of you are already there. Some of you are pretending not to be. And some of you have tasted a bit of progress, but got soft, distracted, hypnotized by comfort, thinking the storm was over. But the storm never ends. It just waits. This world isn't a padded room. It's a minefield. Every step has consequences. And if you move without awareness, if you live like you've got time to waste, you won't just trip. You'll fall back to the pit you clawed your way out of. So let this pierce through your illusions. The stakes are always high, even on the quiet days, even when the sun is shining, even when your notifications are full of likes, not warnings. That's the trap. When it feels easy, we stop building. We stop hunting. We start coasting. But nothing about your existence is guaranteed. Your job, temporary. Your health, fragile. Your relationships, conditional. Your mind, corruptible. If you don't stay vigilant, something will exploit your weakness. And when it hits, you won't have time to prepare. You'll only have what you already became. So who are you? A survivor hoping to rest? Or a warrior refusing to be caught off guard? You better decide. Because the longer you play small, the easier it becomes to break you. This is your warning. Do not let peace make you passive. Do not let comfort dull your claws. Do not let the illusion of safety turn you soft. Because the predators are still out there. The system still wants you weak. And life doesn't care how many excuses you stacked like pillows. You are one disaster away from being stripped of everything. But if you train like it's coming, if you build like you have nothing, if you live like you're already at war, then when the wave crashes, you don't get washed away. You rise through it. You fight through it. You command through it. Because that's what the elite do. They don't wait for the fire. They become it. They don't fear survival mode. They never leave it. They just evolve in it. So stop playing small. Stop making plans that don't demand your all. Stop acting like you have the luxury of delay. Every second you waste pretending you're safe is a second the wolves get closer. It's time to remember the truth. You are always at war. And if you don't act like it, you'll bleed like you forgot. Now get up. Sharpen your discipline. Fortify your mind. Build like your future depends on it. Because it does. This world doesn't owe you mercy, but you owe yourself domination. Now go earn it, or get swallowed. There is no middle ground. Not anymore. Not ever. The illusion of safety is the real danger. You've seen how close the edge really is. How fast life can drag you back into survival mode. No more pretending. No more playing it safe. If you're done living on your knees, if you're ready to rise like the storm you were born to be, then it's time to stop playing small and start playing the big game. Here's how you begin. 5 ruthless steps to shatter your limitations, rebuild your identity, and rise into the force you were meant to become. Let's get to work. Step 1. Face the truth. Brutally. The chains you can't see are the hardest to break. Let's stop pretending. You didn't accidentally end up playing small. You chose it. Not consciously, not proudly, but through thousands of quiet decisions made in fear, doubt, and hesitation. Every time you played it safe, every time you bit your tongue to avoid judgment, every time you lowered the bar to stay accepted, stay hidden, or stay comfortable, you chose to stay small. And if you don't face that fact with ruthless honesty, you will never escape it. Most people want transformation without confrontation. They want the big life, the power, the wealth, the freedom. But they can't even sit alone in a room and admit where they failed themselves. So let's do what the masses fear. Let's expose the rot. Sit down, no distractions, no filters, and ask yourself, where am I lying to myself? What excuses do I cling to out of comfort? What part of me is still addicted to playing the victim? What version of myself do I show to the world? And what am I hiding underneath it? This isn't about guilt. It's about clarity. Because until you identify the exact behaviors and mental traps that have kept you small, you'll keep repeating them on autopilot. The subconscious will drag you back to mediocrity every time, unless you surgically extract the truth and make it hurt enough to change. Let it burn. Let it sting. Let the weight of your wasted potential hit you like a brick. This is where transformation starts, not with positive affirmations or vision boards, but with radical self-exposure. Expose the laziness. Expose the fear. Expose the patterns that keep you spinning in circles while pretending to evolve. Until you say, I was the one keeping me small, you will always blame something else and stay powerless. This step is not a one-time purge. It's a ritual, a continual shedding of delusions. Because every level of growth comes with a new mask to tear off. So adopt this mindset. I would rather destroy the lie than protect the illusion. I would rather bleed now than rot slowly. That's how the small version of you dies. That's how the warrior wakes up. Because the enemy isn't your boss. It isn't your past. It isn't the economy, your upbringing, or your circumstances. It's the version of you that's terrified to be powerful. And once you face that truth, fully, brutally, without flinching, you'll feel something rise in your chest that's been buried for years. Fire, drive, freedom. From here, we rebuild. But only once the truth has been faced with blood in your mouth and your eyes wide open. This is your rebirth. Now let's move to step 2, where the small identity gets crushed under the weight of who you're becoming. Step 2. Expand your identity, or stay trapped. You don't rise higher than who you believe you are. Now that you've ripped the mask off and faced the brutal truth of your smallness, you're standing at the crossroads. On one side, the identity you've been rehearsing your whole life. Timid, hesitant, reactive, a product of trauma, limitation, and fear masquerading as logic. On the other, the version of you that scares people, the version that speaks without apologizing, that walks into a room and shifts the energy without trying, that builds, leads, and dominates, not to impress, but because it's who they are. But here's the problem. You will never live above the ceiling of your identity. You can set goals, write affirmations, chase results. But if you still see yourself as a nobody, deep down, Everything you build will collapse back to match the weak self-image you've clung to. Your identity is the thermostat of your life. Set too low, and even your wins will sabotage themselves. Set too high, and you'll stretch, adapt, and rise to match. So the question is not, what do you want? It's who do you need to become to hold it? This step is about killing the small identity you inherited from your past. The version programmed by a scared parent, a bitter teacher, a broken culture. The one who learned to shrink before they even understood their power. You weren't born small. You were conditioned to be. But now you must reclaim the authority to write a new internal script and burn the old one to ash. Here's how. 1. Speak the new identity out loud. Every day. Not like a hope, like a fact. I'm a builder of empires. I'm relentless under pressure. I'm dangerous to anything that tries to cage me. I am the storm, not the victim of it. The mind can't hold two opposing truths for long. One belief will dominate. You choose which one survives. 2. Move like the identity is already real. Identity is not, I'll believe it when I see it. It's I'll see it when I live like it. Big players don't wait for confidence. They embody it. They walk into the meeting, the gym, the battlefield, as if they belong. Not because they're faking, but because they know that belief comes after movement. Start showing up as the high-level version of you, before the results show up. Act, speak, dress, train, and execute as if the old version is already dead. 3. Sever ties with what affirms the old you. Friends who only remember your weaknesses. Routines that breed comfort. Environments that reinforce doubt. Cut them. Not out of hate, but out of clarity. Because playing big demands a different energy, a higher vibration, a sharper standard. And if you stay plugged into what made you small, don't be shocked when you shrink again. 4. Embrace the awkward transition. It will feel fake at first, like you're pretending, like you're wearing someone else's skin. That's normal. That's growth. When you outgrow your old identity, the new one feels like armor you haven't yet earned. But the only way to fit into it is to keep wearing it anyway. Confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from repetition, of seeing yourself follow through. You earn the identity through blood, sweat, and proof. 5. Burn the bridge. Stop leaving room to go back. Stop calling your old self a phase. Stop treating your new standard as a test drive. You either become it or get dragged back to comfort. This isn't a game. This is war against the smallness that's been robbing your future. And there's only one way forward. Become undeniable. Final word. On step 2, if you don't expand your identity, you will shrink your dreams to fit the cage you built around yourself. You'll say things like, maybe later, or I'm not ready, while time buries your potential under a mountain of fear. But if you choose, right now, to become the embodiment of power, to see yourself as the weapon, the leader, the force, then nothing can stop you. You don't have to fake it. You have to become it. And the only way to do that is to act like it's already who you are. Because the big game, it doesn't respond to potential. It responds to identity. Now let's move to step 3, where we stop hoping for better and start demanding it through unbreakable standards. Step 3. Raise your standards ruthlessly. You do not rise to your goals. You fall to your standards. By now you've faced the truth. You've exposed the excuses. You've burned the old identity and begun to forge something greater. But there's a force still lurking, one that will sabotage everything if you don't crush it completely. Low standards, the invisible ceiling, the internal thermostat that dictates what you tolerate, what you accept, and what you become. It's not your ambition that determines your future. It's your tolerance for mediocrity. And make no mistake, mediocrity doesn't announce itself. It whispers. It disguises itself as balance, as taking it easy, as I've done enough for today. But here's the cold truth. If your standards are low, your life will never be high. This is where most people fall off. They want success without sacrifice. They want greatness, but they still live like it's optional. You will never play the big game if you keep making peace with weakness. So what are standards really? They're the rules you refuse to break. They're the line in the sand. They are what you demand from yourself, even when no one's watching. Let's break this down. 1. Set higher minimums, then make them law. Your floor must become someone else's ceiling. Most people think they're doing pretty good if they work out a few times a week, read a book a month, or show up to work mostly on time. That's cute. That's average. That's small game behavior. Ruthless standard elevation sounds like this. I don't miss. Ever. If I say I'm going to do it, it's already done. If it's beneath the future me, I don't touch it. And these aren't goals. These are non-negotiables. There is no fallback. There is no maybe. You stop tolerating sloppiness in your diet, in your speech, in your thoughts. You stop making excuses for half effort, even when you're tired. You treat every day as an audition for the life you claim you want. Because it is. 2. Audit what you allow. Your life is a reflection of what you're currently tolerating. Tolerate disrespect, and you'll attract more of it. Tolerate procrastination, and you'll keep chasing deadlines. Tolerate toxic relationships, and you'll never have room for the empowering ones. Go through every area of your life and ask, what am I currently tolerating that I would never allow if I respected myself fully? That question alone will strip away the dead weight. Raise your standards and watch people fall away. Good. Let them. You're not here to make everyone comfortable. You're here to make yourself unstoppable. 3. Raise standards in silence. This is not about bragging. This is not about posting your hustle. This is about becoming so lethal, so sharp, so committed, that your results speak for you. Big game players don't need applause. They need war. They need clarity. They need momentum. And they generate it by expecting more of themselves than anyone else ever could. If people around you don't say, you're intense, you're obsessed, you're not like the rest of us, then your standards probably aren't high enough. 4. Make pain a requirement, not a problem. You want change? Good. Then stop avoiding the pain that creates it. Low standards reject discomfort. High standards require it. You must condition your nervous system to expect resistance and push through it on command. This isn't about burning out. It's about reprogramming your mind to understand. Pain is the price of admission to a powerful life. No pain, no pressure, then you're not growing. You're decaying. The big game is not won by those who dabble. It's won by those who endure. 5. Let your standards kill who you used to be. You cannot hold on to your old life and reach for the next. Something has to die. Something must be buried. The person who skipped workouts, who settled for good enough, who let bad habits slide because it's just one time. That version of you, they can't come. Raising your standards means exiling your former self, leaving them behind like a shell of skin you've outgrown. No funeral, no looking back, only forward. Final word on step 3. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your standards. So raise them, relentlessly, without apology. Turn your minimums into milestones. Treat your daily actions like sacred contracts, and enforce them with the fury of someone who refuses to go back. The life you want isn't waiting at the top of the mountain. It's built step by step at the level you're currently walking. So walk with honor, with intention, with standards that make the world take notice. Now let's move to step 4, where we take this new identity and these ruthless standards and build a system that makes success inevitable. Step 4. Build a system of relentless execution. Discipline isn't what you do when you feel like it. It's what you do no matter what. You've faced the truth. You've redefined your identity. You've raised your standards to a level that most people can't even comprehend. But now comes the war that separates the committed from the dreamers. Execution. Because let's be real, talk is cheap. Vision without action is hallucination. And raw motivation, that dies the moment life punches you in the face. To play the big game, you need a machine. Something that operates whether you're tired, sad, distracted, or even broken. That machine is called your system, and without one, you'll default to chaos. Understand this. High standards mean nothing without high structure. Identity means nothing without implementation. Desire means nothing without discipline. So now we build the war engine that drives your rise. Here's how. 1. Lock in a morning system that creates momentum on command. The first 60 minutes of your day are sacred, not optional, not flexible. Sacred. Why? Because the first hour programs your nervous system for who you will be for the next 15 hours. Most people start their day reacting to alarms, to social media, to other people's agendas. So by 9 a.m., they've already lost. You start your day with domination. Your morning system might look like this. Wake before the world. No phone for the first hour. Breath work or silence to sharpen the mind. Movement to engage the body. Strategic planning. Reviewing your mission for the day. Visualization or affirmation of your new identity. Not for pleasure, for precision. You are training your mind to obey, to move forward before the world has a chance to stop you. 2. Build a non-negotiable daily workflow. You don't need 14 hours a day. You need 4 hours of focus sharper than most people's entire week. Block time for deep work. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Create a system. Decide your 3 most important targets before the day starts. Block out chunks of uninterrupted time to destroy them. Remove all distractions. Track your output, ruthlessly, daily. This isn't a to-do list. This is war planning. You don't leave the battlefield until your targets are down. No compromise, no comfort breaks, no surrender. You execute. Every damn day. 3. Use triggers and rituals to override emotion. Most people only work when they feel like it. You work because it's who you are. And to stay consistent, you embed rituals into your system. Examples: a specific playlist that instantly puts you in flow, a pre-workout mantra or movement, a shutdown routine that signals the day is complete, clothing, lighting, posture, anything that primes state. You are reprogramming your body and mind to move on command, because winners don't wait for the perfect mood. They engineer consistency through triggers. 4. Install accountability. That stings. Accountability is your insurance policy against self-sabotage. You think elite performers are just born disciplined? Number. They design environments that punish failure and reward performance. Here's how. Find someone who won't coddle you, who will call you out. Set public consequences for failure. Money, reputation, punishment. Use habit tracking tools that remind you of your streak. Create public commitments, because ego won't let you fail in front of others. When you know someone is watching, when failure actually costs you something, you move differently. 5. Ruthlessly review and refine weekly. Execution is not set it and forget it. It's war, evolving every week based on real intel. Set aside 30 minutes every week to review what worked, what failed, what needs to be eliminated, automated, or improved. You must treat your system like a CEO treats a company. Tweak, optimize, rebuild, eliminate dead weight. You're not here to hope things work. You're here to create a structure that makes winning automatic. If it's broken, fix it. If it's working, double down. If it's outdated, evolve it. No emotion, no ego, just precision. Final word on step 4. You don't need more time. You need better systems. Because the truth is, you will always fall to the strength of your structure. Without it, you'll slide back into the chaos of your former self. With it, you become a machine of execution, disciplined, dangerous, and impossible to stop. This is how you take your identity and standards and turn them into results that can't be ignored. Now we move to step 5, where you stop playing for likes and start playing for legacy, where you stop chasing validation and start carving your name into history. Step 5. Play for legacy, not approval. If the world claps for you, but you die empty, you played the wrong game. So now you face the truth. You've shed the old identity. You've raised your standards. You've built a system of execution that's designed to win. But there's one final shift, the most important shift, that separates those who perform from those who transform the world. You must stop playing for approval and start playing for legacy. Because here's the hidden trap. Most people still perform with one eye on the crowd, still posting for likes, still seeking validation from people who have never built anything, still hiding parts of themselves just to stay palatable, still silencing their power in exchange for fitting in. That's not the big game. That's the slave game, where every move is filtered through fear of judgment, where you wear masks until you forget who you really are, where your purpose dies under the weight of people-pleasing. But legacy? Legacy demands something entirely different. Legacy doesn't care about likes. Legacy doesn't care about being understood. Legacy doesn't wait for permission. Legacy is ruthless, unapologetic, liberated. You play the big game when you stop asking, will they like me? And start asking, will this outlive me? Let's break down what this looks like, so you never fall into the approval trap again. 1. Know exactly what you're building. You cannot build a legacy by accident. Legacy is intentional. It starts with a clear decision. This is what I will leave behind. This is the impact I will make. This is what I will be remembered for. Not vague dreams, crystal clarity. Whether it's your art, your business, your mission, your movement, define it. Because once you know your legacy, everything else becomes noise. You stop chasing temporary wins. You stop getting baited into emotional drama. You start filtering every action through a higher question. Does this serve the mission or distract from it? 2. Burn the need to be understood. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to be digestible. You're here to become unforgettable. The greater your calling, the more resistance you will face. You will be misunderstood, mocked, laughed at, criticized, isolated. Good. That means you're doing something real. Because everyone doing something safe, familiar, and average will always feel threatened by someone playing the big game. Let them talk. Let them project. While they gossip, you build. While they judge, you rise. While they scroll, you sculpt destiny. 3. Operate from vision, not emotion. Approval seekers ride emotional waves. One harsh comment, and they spiral. One bad day, and they disappear. One rejection, and they quit. Legacy builders. They're rooted. They are obsessed with the outcome. They could be on fire, bleeding, broke, and betrayed, and still move forward with eyes locked on the mission. Their emotions don't run the show. The vision does. So make this vow. No matter how I feel, I execute. No matter what they say, I build. No matter who leaves, I remain. That's how legacies are forged, in the fire of consistency when no one's clapping. 4. Use mortality as fuel. You don't have forever. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. One day your name will be spoken for the last time. One day your body will return to dust. And the only thing that will echo through time is what you did with your breath. So ask yourself, if I died today, what did I leave behind? If the story ended now, who did I become? If this was my last season, how would I move? Legacy builders live urgently, not recklessly, but with precision, because they know time is the only thing they can't get back. So stop wasting it on people who drain you. Stop wasting it on habits that hollow you. Stop wasting it on pursuits that keep you busy, but leave you empty. You were born to build something that lasts longer than your heartbeat. Start acting like it. 5. Build in silence. Shock them with proof. You don't need to announce every move. Let your results speak louder than your mouth ever could. Stop explaining yourself. Stop debating your worth. Stop waiting for consensus. Building stack. Conquer. Repeat. When you play for legacy, you don't show off. You show up. Every day. Whether it's raining or burning. Whether anyone sees it or not. Whether anyone praises you or not. Because you're not here for noise. You're here for impact. Final word on step 5. Approval dies in silence. Legacy echoes through eternity. You must choose. Play for applause, and you'll spend your life dancing for the crowd. A puppet, controlled by opinions, likes, and fleeting relevance. But play for legacy. You become a force, a name that inspires movement, a soul that built something real, something eternal. So ask yourself now, are you here to be liked? Or are you here to be remembered? Now rise. You've faced the truth. You've expanded your identity. You've raised your standards. You've built your system. And now, you've committed to a legacy that burns brighter than comfort. The big game has begun, and it's time the world felt you move. Because smallness is no longer an option. You're here to dominate, or be forgotten. Choose wisely. So now you see it clearly. What once held you back? What kept you quiet? What kept you playing a role far beneath who you truly are? The illusion of safety? Shattered. The comfort you once clung to? Exposed for what it really is. A silent killer of potential. Because whether you like it or not, You've always been one disaster away from being dropped right back into the pit. And now, you're done pretending. You face the truth, not the filtered version, the brutal, uncut reality of how small you've been living and why. You took the mask off. You bled. And that's where the war began. Then you chose to expand your identity. No more calling yourself weak. No more shrinking to fit into cages built by cowards. You're stepping into the version of yourself the world isn't ready for. The one they tried to silence, tame, and erase. You raised your standards, ruthlessly. You drew the line in the sand and said, I will no longer tolerate anything less than excellence, in thought, in action, in life. And you built a system, not a routine, a war engine, one that doesn't wait for motivation, one that executes even on the darkest days. You became your own structure, your own accountability, your own storm. And finally, you made the vow to stop performing for the crowd, to stop begging for approval from people who don't matter, and to play for something eternal, to build a legacy, one that will echo long after your voice is gone, one that will make your name a weapon for the next generation. This is the death of smallness. This is the birth of the warrior. Because now, you don't just dream about the big game, you play it. Every day, every moment, relentless, focused, unapologetic. And if anyone asks what changed, tell them the truth. I stopped playing to survive, and I started playing to conquer. Now go. Your legacy doesn't build itself, and the clock is still ticking. Dominate or disappear. The choice is yours.